Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Fair Life with Andrew McKee, the Irish Bard, and it's another Monday evening. And wow, so glad to be back. Sorry I missed all of you last week. I kind of got stuck out of town. I was going to trying to get back in time, but I didn't quite make it. So thanks to Alicia for announcing that. But I made sure to be back here this week and to be able to say hello to all of you. Whew! It has been a week. And yes, that's true. Drew, you did make it on time. So excellent. Hello, Janine and Jessica and Harvey and Jamie and Katsurita and Kurt and Damaris and Kathy. Yeah. Ooh, it is. Thanks, Janine. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, I missed y'all as well. It was really. Whew. It's weird because when you miss a week, I mean, I understand how it happens, but it can be it's really surprising how much of a letdown it is for me. I don't know if it's the same for you. I'm sure you give me a lot of slack for doing all this work and trying to get it all done, but still, I feel bad. So I'm going to try not to do that again. I keep trying to improve my setup and improve everything I can do. One of these days, I'm going to have it where I can be in my car driving and I can stream to everyone this exact same way. Maybe not with all the graphics, but close. That is my goal, to make it to that level. Always trying. So, and hey, Sarit, hey, great to see you. Woo! All right. So yes, it has been an interesting week. And wow, Alicia, from her personal page. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing that, but great to see you. I'm glad you could join us. Uh, wow, yes, I guess it has been since Celtic Fest, Jessica. Um, Fair enough, Susan. Fair enough. So yes, let's see. Wow, it's been 2 weeks now of things that have been going on with me. A lot of it is just trying to get a lot of things done because I'm going to be doing the Sherwood Forest Fair in about a month. So yes, I'm getting ready for that and trying to record a lot and get a lot of things together. So that's been a lot of my time. Definitely an interesting time. But well, yes. Thank you, Damaris. It is a heck of a goal trying to be as remote as possible, where I can be on whenever. Yes, it's weird to hear me say it out loud that my goal is to always be connected no matter what. Because I guess I'm a little old school sometimes. I know, shocking with what I do, but I am a little old school sometimes, where sometimes I just like the peace and quiet of being out in nature and nobody else near me at all, where I have that solitude feeling of peace. But then sometimes I really want to be around a bunch of people, and that's why I'm here. And yes, Alacia, Sherwood is wonderful, definitely one of the best. Oh, don't worry, Janine. I will be safe. What I would do is I would set up the phone and attach it on the to the window, to the front window, and just have it be where it's on me and I can drive and talk. And I might not look at the camera as much, but I will at least be there. And I guess there's always the option to just pull over to the side of the road and do it that way too, which honestly, trying to get a stable connection might be the only way to do it. So that might make more sense as well. But either way, I wouldn't be holding the camera. I would have it fixed, so we're all good. Oh man. Yes. Yeah, and Alacia is still trying to get better, and I hope she does. She's had the tough route, so do feel better, Alacia. And Harvey, you're not wrong. Yeah, I find that, I mean, I don't think it has to be, but it certainly can be. Nature is a wonderful inspiration. Not only the peace of being in nature, but nature itself can inspire just from the sounds and the natural rhythms of nature reacting to itself. You know, a sound happening and animals making sounds in response to it, and then that whole back and forth is really kind of how music starts in its foundation. So I do love it so. Oh, and Janine, yeah, remembers people climbing Cell Phone Hill that overlooked the privy. Yeah, yeah, sometimes being out of touch can be a stress indeed. On the road with Andrew McKee. I'm not probably wouldn't call it that, but yeah, something along those lines, Damaris. Oh, right, and Janine, yeah, you definitely want to be careful with walking around with music or audiobooks. I mean, I like driving with them, but it's not loud enough where I can't hear noises like ambulances and things like that when I'm driving. Audiobooks are great for that. But it's talking, so there's a lot more pauses in between. Music can sometimes drown out things, so you do have to be careful with that sometimes. Very much so. Oh, and Chris is asking about masks at Sherwood. That's a very good question, and it's interesting. As of now, no. But it was made perfectly clear that that's as of now. That was, I think, a week ago. They said no. As of now, it wasn't going to be a thing. But that was still in flux. They were checking everything day to day, and as things get closer to opening day, they may reevaluate because they're just looking at everything, seeing where things stand. I know things are better, but we're not out of the woods yet. So we will see. We will see. Yes. Yes. Oh, and Kurt's saying the roving minstrel. That's not bad. That's an interesting idea. Alicia, write that down because that's, yeah, you're good at that. And I'm going to forget. So yes, write that down for me. That's not bad. The roving minstrel with Andrew McKee. Wayfaring with the Irish Bard. I like this one too. Okay, this is turning into a brainstorming session, and I'm not opposed to that. So yes, please pick out what name I should give a show about me traveling, because this is actually pretty funny. Wayfaring with the Irish Bard. Okay, Jessica. Yes, interesting. Not bad. Yeah, you're pretty much. This is pretty much what a lot of me hanging out with my friends is like. We'll just start talking about something. Somebody will have an idea, and the next thing you know, the next 30 minutes is just brainstorming about what we would call that, how we would do that, what the problems are. I mean, it's. I think that's just what creative people do. When something is presented in front of them, we just jump on it and love trying to pick it apart and come up with cool stuff, because it's how we roll. It really is. Whew. Well, okay. I think I do want to go ahead and do the weekly Ren Faire word. And hey, Alicia, it's not like you shouldn't do a travel thing yourself. You should definitely do a travel thing. I think that would be great. We can both do travel things. We can do offsetting travel things. Or we could go together, traveling on the road with the bard and the storyteller. I like it. I mean, there's so many possibilities. But yes. It will be interesting. Now, I do want to go ahead and do the weekly Ren word here, and get this going, because and that's true. That is true. I don't know if some people do understand. Some people who don't do Ren Faire are creative types too. They just don't happen to do Ren Faire, although it always surprises me. But yeah, I think you're right. It's a sort of a weird club that you just automatically get once you've done Ren Faire for a little while. Definitely. Oh. And Jan says you couldn't join the chat on Facebook. But luckily, yes, that's another thing. A couple of weeks ago, I thought I'd figured out how to transfer the YouTube chat over to my setup where I can post them up and see them. And I apparently didn't. I forgot one of the steps. So I made sure this week to get that up. So thank you, Jan. It is up and ready to see. Wow. Normies just don't understand. And that's even extra funny because they just have a new show now, the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where they're doing it again, but it's serious. It's not as much of a sitcom. It has a more serious slant to it. So I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see. But no, I like the parody song idea. That's pretty good. We can definitely do that. Okay, the weekly Wren word, and this is a word that's still used today, but it kind of gained prominence in the late medieval period, and it's a simple word, but I think there are people that don't really know it, mainly because they haven't left the U.S., or at least haven't much, and they're not used to the concept. So, oh, and Harvey, yes, thank you. That's it's a ukulele and a mandolin is back there, just for those keeping score. So the word is, and the word is peat. Now, peat is, well, let's just go ahead and do the definition real quick while we're here. Partially carbonized vegetable tissue formed by partial decomposition in water of various plants. I know. So yeah, that. How many of you have not heard of peat before? I'm kind of curious how many of you are familiar and how many of you are not. Yes, and Alicia is totally right about the whole whiskey drinking thing. And Harvey, yeah, peat moss. But the word peat came about in the 14th century initially. I mean, it's probably a little older than that, but that's when you first started seeing it written down. And yeah, it's really just compressed, somewhat decayed plant matter. And it is ultra compressed and kept in a state where it's not allowed to decay completely. And because of that, it has a lot of interesting advantages. You'll normally find them in areas called peatlands, my personal favorite, bogs, mires, moors, or muskegs. But it's still peat, and it has an interesting aspect of preservation where it's very, very, because of the state that it's in, it's very low on oxygen. And just like there are, for preservation, different areas of the world and different situations can preserve things well, like very dry areas in the desert, or if something is frozen in the Arctic or Siberia or something, thousands of years later, it can still be brought out and is at least in some reasonable shape, more than if it was somewhere else. But peatlands and peat does the same thing. It preserves things very well. And yeah, let's just go ahead and I'm just going to jump over to this because, well, I'm me. And this is a picture of peat. So I'm actually trying to use as many picture examples as I can. And it's very compressed. And it is also considered it's also considered a fossil fuel, if you can believe it. What they do is they dig down and dig it up. A peatland kind of grows about 1 millimeter a year. So, yeah, if it's a meter deep, then that's 1,000 years of peat. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, what they dig it up in sections like that and let it dry out for the purpose of burning, because it is a very, very, very high quality log for burning a fire. And you can see that when it's used, it's actually dangerous because it's difficult to put out once you light it. In fact, rain won't do it. You could have a peat fire outside and it could rain down on it, it's still going to be burning. And even if you do manage to put it out, you have to be very careful because there's a decent chance it will start up again. That's how good and efficient of a fire starter it is. So yeah, and they've been doing that with peat for, well, at least a couple of thousand years, digging it up and using it as fuel. And so it's kind of interesting. Now, of course, Alicia touched on the other interesting use for peat, and that's whiskey. Now, Alicia could probably talk a lot more about this subject than I could. She is a whiskey expert, trained, certified, the whole shebang. But the basic stuff is drying the damp malt over a peat-heated fire brings the smoke into the barley grain, and that adds that special flavor that only peat can. So, and that's what separates, whiskey from Scotland, Scotch, from other types of whiskeys. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. And Janine is right. Environmentally, there are some issues with that because it is a fossil fuel, and peat is known as a great carbon absorber. I mean, the amount of carbon stored in peat is ridiculous. All the peat in the world, it would create a serious change to climate if all of it was released. So yeah, it is a concern. But and they do, because of the whiskey industry, they do get peat out at an industrial level. I mean, they kind of strip mine it in a way. But luckily, they are careful not to over mine it and I guess mining is not the right word, but over dig it up. And so at least there is some preservation in mind with it. So that is something. So yes, and that's correct, Chris. Yes, the density it really helps with that. It's just very optimized. So yes, and Kurt is also right. Not yet coal. It's like not there. It's like coal light. But first you have to dry it out because it does retain a good bit of water in there. So they leave it out to dry for a while. So yes. So that's a little something, for the word of the day. Whew. Right? Yes, that's true. Been using since the Bronze Age. Well, I mean, peatlands or bogs or whatever, they first started being formed at the end of the last ice age, which about 12,000 years ago. As the ice receded, those bogs and peatlands started essentially, and yeah, and there are areas you can go back 12,000 years of peat. So yes, that's 12 meters down of peat. A little crazy, right? A little crazy. Whew. But yes. Okay, something else that's been going on with me, I do want to talk about that because we are going through time like crazy. I have a viral video out, apparently. There has been, I've been getting messages about this for the last couple of weeks steadily. So yeah, I'll just put this up, but this video has been going on. Yeah, it's been very popular online, and everybody's been commenting about it. But yeah, this is just me at the Louisiana Ren Fair at, I think, the end of November, beginning of December. It was one of the later weekends. And I remember this very well. She just came up and, with a friend of hers and started taking a video of her dancing in front of me. But then she stopped and was all, conscientious and worried. And she looked at me and said, no, we can't. We're interrupting him and all of that. And, most people don't think about that. And I really appreciated the fact that she thought about interrupting my busking and what I'm doing. And so, I mean, I just immediately went, no, it's okay. Go ahead. You're cool. You've been cool about it. No, don't worry about it. Go ahead. Take your video. Have some fun. So yes, she went ahead and did it and acted like a goofball, and then I guess put the video up, and it's been on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm sure TikTok and some other places too by now. But I've had lots of people comment, some of you in fact, about it, and just to say, hey, is this you? This is you, right? So yeah, you can also see my see the new outfit I tried for Louisiana. I'm wearing some of it now, but Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and yeah, she was cool and a goofball about it. She only did, it's only like a 10-second video, but I think she maybe recorded 15, 20 seconds and then walked on, so no big deal. But yeah, always fun. Always fun. Oh, okay, so some people. Um, oh, okay, so some people are asking if it was Sherwood. No. It kind of does look like Sherwood with all the trees in that location, and you can't see the lake behind me because of the fence, but there's the lake right behind me, and that would guarantee that it is not Sherwood. And yeah, it is at Louisiana. So, yeah. Um, it might have been Thanksgiving weekend. I'm not sure. Like I said, late November, early December. It was around that time. But when you're doing Faire weekend after weekend after weekend, I don't quite zoom in on, oh, this instance happened on that day, on this Saturday or something. It bleeds together a little bit. But I remember, generally what time of Faire it was. I mean, it wasn't the first few weekends. I know that. But yeah, but no, yeah. So anyway, a little bit of humor. I got a viral video, so always fun, and I didn't even post it, which is a shame. I wish I had, but that's one of the problems with performing at Faire. I'm performing, so I don't really get to video myself easily. So I rely on people like you for that. So feel free to do that in the future. I would appreciate it very much. Okay. Oh man, time is flying by. Okay. Wow, I may have to even skip my hitherto history and save that for next week. Yeah, I may do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the fairs that are coming up. My fair list. So yeah, we have a really cool fair list. And it is just starting to get busy now. It is, usually in January you have a few little fairs here or there, but that's it, usually in the South. And now they're starting to spread out. February is when it kind of starts getting busy again with some of the larger fairs. And we have an anomaly up in Vermont, so kind of cool. So anyway, let's start it off and take a quick look. Let's see, here we go. Make it all large for you. Now, in Vermont, we have the Vermont Winter Renaissance Fair. This is put on by the same people that put on the Vermont Ren Fair that I think goes on in June. But yeah, this is a one-weekend event, and it is indoors, which explains how they're pulling this off in Vermont. Yeah, never easy. It's at the Expo Center there, and it's a large indoor location, so they do have a lot, and there's not much else going on up there. So the performers that are up in the Northeast that don't go down to Florida during this time, you do get some good performers up there. I looked at the last few years who they've had there, and you'll get some good acts up there. So it is, for a one-weekend Winterfest, it's pretty good. So something to check out, and especially if you're in that area, take a look. Kind of fun. So yes, then we go down to Florida, and again we have Brevard over in Melbourne, Florida, on the Gulf side. But we're adding the Florida Renaissance Festival in Deerfield Beach on the Pacific side, just north of Miami, and they're far enough away from each other. They don't not too much competition. There is some overlap, but yeah, they are doing very well. So something to check out there if you're down in the Southeast, and it's definitely going to be warmer there. Although maybe a little cool this weekend, but generally speaking, for February, and it is one of the warmer places to be. So nice place to check out. Then we have over in Louisiana a first year fair. It's going on for 3 weekends. The Acadiana Renaissance Fete, Fete. Yes, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it's in Opelousas, Louisiana. This is a little bit north of Lafayette. And the Louisiana Ren Fair that I mentioned earlier in the viral video, this is a couple of hours west of there. So shouldn't be too much overlap with that. But I don't know. We'll see how they get along. Sometimes fairs that are that close get in a little more competition than usual, but we'll check it out. Should be an interesting fair first year. Now the website for Acadiana is, oh, wow, yes, I said Pacific side, didn't I, Kurt? No, okay, Florida has an Atlantic side. I meant Atlantic. Boy, that was me. I got my oceans confused. Kurt just mentioned it. Florida has a Pacific side? Wow, okay. Yes, this is me. I'm glad you can't see this. I'm slapping my face right now. Okay, yes, Atlantic side. Wow. Yeah, I have no excuse. That's just a good catch, though. Thank you for setting me straight on that, Kurt. Yeah, at least I didn't say Arctic, because that would have been really no excuse. So yes. Oh, cool. And Jessica says that she'll be there this year since she lives 5 minutes or 15 minutes away from Sherwood. Cool. Okay. But yeah, Acadiana, the website is a bit rough at Acadiana. It's a first year fair. It's very basic. I think a few of the dates are actually off because they were originally going to do it, I think, last year or the year before, and COVID and everything stopped them. So, but it's a first year fair, and I'm going to give them some slack on that because usually first year events, they're just trying to make sure it happens. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. But it should be interesting to check out. Then we go over to Texas, and there's the Kerrville Renaissance Festival in Kerrville, Texas. Now, I've heard about this for years. It's just west of me, but because of one factor or another, I've never been. I really would like to check it out sometime, and I will try to do that. But yeah, that should be interesting. Then we go west of that into Arizona, and we have two fairs in Arizona. Now, this is weird because we have the Two Rivers Renaissance Fair, which normally is at the end of January. It's over in the southwest Arizona area in Yuma, and it's right near the border. You can kind of see the border from the fair, and it's always been in the end of January and was the weekend before Arizona started, the Arizona Ren Fair. So it was always a lead-in. I don't know if this year kind of messed with some stuff or what, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. If it just the timing changed and now they're competing with Arizona for the first weekend, but they're far enough away. I don't think it's really that much of a problem. They're several hours away, so it's not like I don't think there's really any competition, so no big deal. But usually they're the weekend before. Is my memory. I've been there. It's a really nice little fair on a non-permanent site at a park there, and they do a phenomenal job. It really better than a lot of permanent sites, honestly. It's really surprised me. Then there's the Arizona Ren Fair in Apache Junction, Arizona, and that is just a really good sized fair that lasts for a long time, and it's been going for a long time. So it is a huge challenge to put a Ren Fair on in sort of the desert, and they manage and do a great job. So I have been there before a couple of times, and definitely plan on going back sometime. Really great fair. So yes, and Susan Hill mentions Langer's Ball will be out there too. So yes, very, very cool. So yeah. So yeah, do check that out, and always cool. And yeah, wow. I guess I may go ahead and end it there. I'll save my hitherto history for next week, which is interesting. I got way too caught up with my viral video, I suppose, but I was excited about that, and it was great talking with you all because yeah, you guys are full of information, and always appreciated. And yeah, Sarid is mentioning the Kerrville Ren Fest has added several things this year. Excellent. Definitely something to check out then. Oh, and hey, Alicia can actually get back on the page again. Okay. Well, actually, I kind of liked you on your own site, so people knew it was you. But usually, yeah, when anybody's posting as the Life's Affair on this, it is Alicia now. So no 7 reasons. It's already too late. I couldn't even get my hitherto history, so I'm not going to worry about either of them. We'll save that for next week, and I'll try to do better with timing because it's already 7:32. Oh, well, thanks, Chris. I try. I do try. But hey, thanks again for joining me, and I'm glad I fixed the YouTube chat so that is part. I can see that now when it's being posted. It is a interesting setup I have, and I keep trying to improve it, and will continue to keep trying to improve it because, well, you guys are worth the effort, and I have a great time with y'all. So thanks again for joining me today, and okay. Oh my gosh, 7 reasons why no 7 reasons. Andrew was gone last week. What, number 2, I talked too much and I wasted way too much time with my commentary. That's probably 1. And then, yes, I got way too interested in Pete. And my hitherto history was going to, Alicia already mentioned that. So yeah, we're on the same mind. Thanks, Alicia, for covering that. Probably came out about the same time, but the delay, I didn't see it. And Pete is going to actually play a part in my hitherto history next week, so I will make sure to include that. But I'm wearing a hat. Oh, this is going to be a thing, isn't it? Okay. Well, I think I'm going to call it here before y'all start listing all the reasons why I am inept. There are too many. I think too many to list in just 7. But as always, I appreciate the help, and thanks for joining me today, and have a great week. And I know that life isn't always fair, but it's never a bad thing to try for a fair life. So have a good week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.